Hello there. This is what 2 hours of charcoal can do to a 20-minute sketch. In this video, I'll walk you through every major decision I made to take this portrait to a finished look without losing any of the energy of the original. So stay with me and let's find out. In the drawing to the left, that was the one that I did in 20 minutes, and the one to the right is the one that I did in 2 hours. I'm gonna ask the following questions and see what did I already get right on the first one. Well, I think the overall gesture was correct, and so was the value range. The darker areas are mapped dark and the lighter areas are mapped light, and overall what I wanted to do, which is leaving the dress or the shirt basically undone and the somber look that she had. And the placement and features were overall correct, and so were the general proportions. Now, what did I get wrong? Well, it's not necessarily that I got it wrong, it's that I really didn't have enough time for refinement. So obviously the head placement was not correct. She's too straight up, and here she's more tilted. And the value ranges, I didn't have enough time to build the mid-tones in this area right here. And I didn't have any time to do anything with the shirt. Not that I had enough time to do much with the hair. And also the nose was a little too small and the mouth got a little too large. So basically the problem was the lack of time. Now when you have more time, you can develop all the features further. These are all the supplies we are going to use. So before I start really correcting all the features and all the things that I see that are wrong, I always need a warm-up period. I know that some artists can do this much quickly, but I need to warm up, and the way I warm up is by focusing on concentrated on the easier and the larger shapes first. Since this drawing certainly needs to be much darker than what I have, then I'm going to continue building my values and going darker, and for that I'm using my Primo charcoal pencil. It's called Elite Grande. It's a pretty thick pencil. It's very soft. I have to be careful when I sharpen it so the lead doesn't break. And now I'm marking the first point that I see, which is the edge of the nose. And that's going to be very important I get right. And you can see me using the plumb on level and measuring. And what I'm trying to do is try to figure it out where the end of the nose and the end of the mouth falls in relationship to that edge of the nose right next to the left eye. Now I am finding the edge of the nose, and I realize that it's important to develop all the values first, but I need to find what the end of that nose is to figure out exactly what the end of the mouth is, because remember I said that I could tell very clearly that that mouth was too big. So to be able to find the end of the mouth, first I have to have the nose right. The first real work is correction, not detail. Before I start doing any shading, I really need to fix what's wrong with the drawing itself. The nose is not exactly in the right place, so I use my kneaded eraser to fix that. It's very important at all times to squint at your reference, especially at this stage. If a shape disappears, it's not important yet. Now I grab my Mono Zero eraser pencil to draw the top shape of the lips, and basically I'm drawing by lifting the charcoal. I continue finding the features using the Plum level technique, and I'm gonna speed up a little bit this part so it's not too boring. So now I feel ready to start building the value structure. And I need to establish the light to dark map before adding any more detail. Now the question is, how dark should I go? The answer is it's always darker than you think, but it's easier to build the darks gradually, even though that may appear as a great waste of time and effort. It will save you an aggravation later on. So blocking the 3 main value zones, and that way you are not getting too tempted to build details yet. And I realized that that neckline was a little too far out. It made her neck a little too fat, so I need to correct that. And the best tool to erase a really dark line is definitely the electrical eraser. I'm grabbing now my small piece, about 1 inch cut of my nitrous charcoal, just to suggest a little bit of her shirt. I define the chin a little bit better with the mono zero eraser that I have. Since I know at this point that the nose and the mouth, particularly the mouth, are gonna be the focal points here, now I start adding the darkest darks around the mouth to define it better. Now I start defining more the facial features, and I do it with both the nitrum charcoal, mono zero eraser, and my pencil charcoal. Now the goal here is to develop the features with restraint. Finishing doesn't mean detailing everything. The biggest mistake at this stage is trying to make every feature look finished. In this illustration, you can see to the left the drawing that has been developed with a really good range of values and no particular attention to too much detail. And in the right, the exact same drawing, just overemphasizing the features at the expense of the values. This was rendered by AI, and I thought it was a perfect demonstration. Now I'm working and defining a little bit more the eye area, and I have to be very careful because the eyes are in the shadows. He's looking down, so I can't put any details and definition in it. And the same thing happens to the bottom of the nose and the top lip and part of the bottom lip as well. In this illustration, you can see very clearly what is in shadow, what is in semi-shadow, and what is in the dark and what is in the light. I continue adding values, and now I feel confident enough to start building the hair. Now the reason why I haven't done anything to the hair until now is because I wasn't sure about what I was going to do to it. And I realized that it needs to be dark because I'm not really going to do anything with the background. So I use my short nitrum stick to very quickly map out the dark shapes and the dark areas that I see around the hair. Now, welcome to what I call the ugly stage. This is a stage of your drawing where you really don't like what you have going on and you're doubting your ability to breathe or do anything because you really don't like what you have. But it is a necessary evil. You really have to continue because without this stage, you couldn't reach a level of finish. So I grabbed a little piece of cotton to soften all the values, basically the mid values that I see around the cheek, and I will be softening everything else because I do not want any texture whatsoever to show on the face areas. I want to have a nice contrast with the shirt and the hair. These are all the blending tools that I could use in any particular drawing. So now let's talk about edges, blending, and texture. The most misunderstood skill in charcoal is edge control. When do I stop blending? The answer separates good portraits from great ones. It's important to have a variety of edges in your drawing, just like it shows you in this illustration. There are 3 main types of edges: sharp, soft, and lost. Overblending kills the freshness of the sketch. Every time you blend, you lose a decision. In this illustration, you can see how I use the soft neutral charcoal to sort of suggest the shirt that she has, while I use the pencil to gently refine the eye and the face. I'm entering the detail stage now, and this is where I decide where I want the attention to go to. And I am focusing on the hair to add a little more detail to the hair, and now I'm adding more details to the eyes and working on the shirt as well. I refine the lips with the pencil. I soften the ends of the mouth with a tortillon. Lift the chin highlight with my kneaded eraser. Chin reflected light with my mono zero eraser. Define the nose, the shape really well with the hardest charcoal that I have. I add some tone to the background in the shadow area. Add some charcoal powder on it for more deeper tones. Add more definition to the top of the color. At this point, I decided that I want the clothing to look a little bit more abstract and rough in relationship to the face, so I'm not going to do a lot of detailing on it. I'm just going to try to use just my soft stick of charcoal. I soften the forehead area with my little pinky, which is one of my greatest tools for blending that I have. Add more definition to the hair with my charcoal pencil. Add more powder to the background with my cotton ball. Leave a tone from the cheek area in the shadow with my cotton rag. And using the same cotton rag, blend some tones from the hair area. I lost all the chin definition while I was blending, so I get it back now by lifting a tone with a kneaded eraser. I didn't the shirt to be all rough because the contrast will be too great with the face, so I decided to blend a little bit too on the shadow area. I use the tortillon or my blending stab now to blend all the delicate areas around the face. Define the hair strands now with my charcoal pencil and leave the lights on the cheek area and on top of the lips again, and bottom of lips with a kneaded eraser. And now I clean and sharpen my electrical eraser in the sandpaper to the right, as you can see, so I can leave the brightest highlight on the tip of the nose. And the top lid. Leave the shirt lights with the electrical eraser. Remove extra dust and shreddings from the eraser with my fan brush. Leave the highest highlights from the bottom lip with the electrical eraser. And define the bottom lip some more with the mono zero eraser pencil. So, how do you know when a portrait is finished? Here's a valuable checklist. Are the values correct in the focal area? Are the edges intentional, not accidental? Does the drawing read clearly from 3 meters away? And is there anything that I'll regret not doing? You should give it a freshness test. The freshness test is when you step back, you squint and ask, does this still feel alive? Now, I wasn't sure about the shirt. I almost decided to really draw the shirt really well, or also leaving the hair completely untouched. But I decided against it because once I started drawing, it just didn't feel right. So I took the liberty to change my opinion. I recently watched a podcast on TV that I really enjoyed, and the interviewer, whose name I really don't remember, but he said something that struck with me because it's true. And he said, if you hold the same opinions as the world changes, you will be wrong. This has relevance here because even though you have some ideas about where you want the drawing to go, you need to remain flexible and let the drawing dictate how it wants it to be. So let's do a little recap here. What are the key lessons that we've learned? The 5 core principles. Number 1, fix the drawing before adding all the values. Number 2, map values in 3 tones first. Number 3, features and relationships. Draw the shadow, not the eye. 4, control your edges. And 5, add the contrast to direct the eye. And know when to stop. If you haven't seen the 20-minute video of this sketch, it's linked in the description. And I encourage you to try this on your own portrait and subscribe for the next video where I'll be drawing the iconic and one and only Marilyn Monroe. See you in the next one.